Before we dive in, if you're ready to transform your mindset and step into the life you know you're capable of living, hit that subscribe button and join the Shifted Self community, a place for growth, discipline, and awakening. Now let me ask you this, are you living with the mindset of the 99% or the 1%? The 1% mindset is not about money, luck, or being born with special talents. It's about the way you think, the way you act, and the way you face challenges. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, that person you admire, and you. The difference has never been time. The difference is how you use it. The 99% waste their hours in distraction, in comparison, in excuses. But the 1%, they see every single day as an opportunity to grow. They understand that life is built not by one huge breakthrough, but by small, consistent choices. Here's the truth. The 1% mindset is not about doing the impossible. It's about improving just 1% each day. It seems insignificant at first, but those tiny improvements compound into massive transformation. 1% better every day, and in a year you are no longer the same person. So the question is, will you keep living like the 99%, or will you embrace the mindset of the 1%? A mindset that separates you from the rest. The 1% mindset is not about arrogance. It's not about being above anyone else. It's about clarity. Clarity that your life is your responsibility. Clarity that no one is coming to save you. Clarity that there is no perfect moment. Only now. While the 99% wait for motivation, the 1% act without it. While the 99% complain about time, the 1% use it. While the 99% search for shortcuts, the 1% create discipline. And this matters because the world does not reward intentions. It rewards action. The harsh truth is this. Most people will never live the life they dream of. Not because they're incapable, but because they never truly commit. They want the result, but not the process. They want the body, but not the sweat. They want success, but not the sacrifice. They want love, but not the inner transformation. The 1% understand something vital. Growth only happens outside of comfort. And here's where the power of 1% a day comes in. It's not about flipping your life overnight. It's about small daily progress. Just a little. Every day read 10 pages, meditate 10 minutes, train when you don't feel like it, save a little money, say no to one distraction. It looks small, but the 99% never play this game. They're impatient. They want instant results. They quit before the harvest. The 1% understand the law of accumulation. They know every small step, every small effort, every small decision is building something unseen. Roots grow before the tree rises. That's why the 1% stand out. Not because they were born special, but because they chose differently. They chose constancy over comfort. And here's the question you need to face. What's stopping you from being among them? Not talent, not luck, but your decision to live differently. Discipline over motivation. That's one of the core truths of the 1% mindset. Because motivation is fragile. Motivation depends on how you feel in the moment. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you wake up inspired, ready to conquer the world. Other days you wake up tired, unmotivated, and the thought of pushing forward feels unbearable. If you rely on motivation, you'll never go far. You'll start, but you won't finish. You'll dream, but you won't build. That's the trap where 99% of people live their entire lives, waiting to feel like it. But the 1%? They don't wait. They understand that feelings are not the driver. Discipline is. Discipline means doing it whether you feel like it or not. Discipline means showing up when no one is watching, when nobody is clapping for you, when it feels pointless. Discipline is what builds empires in silence, while everyone else is distracted, entertained, or asleep. The truth is simple. Motivation starts the fire. Discipline keeps it burning. And here's where the 1% everyday principle comes alive. Because discipline doesn't mean doing extraordinary things. It means doing ordinary things consistently until they create extraordinary results. Read 10 pages today. That's nothing. But read 10 pages every day for a year, and you'll have consumed over 3,600 pages. More knowledge than most people will touch in their lifetime. Do 20 push-ups today. Feels small? But 20 a day every day becomes more than 7,000 in a year. That transforms your body. Save a few dollars a day. Feels insignificant. But compounded daily, it grows into something powerful. That's the 1% mindset. Not giant leaps, but small steps and taken daily. With discipline, with commitment, with patience. And here's the painful truth. Most people fail not because they can't. They fail because they won't. They refuse to stay consistent long enough for the results to appear. They give up when it's boring, when it's slow, when it doesn't give instant gratification. But if you want to be in the 1%, you must accept this law. Small disciplines done daily transform your entire life. So stop asking yourself, do I feel like it? Start asking yourself, did I keep my word today? That's how the 1% live. That's how you separate yourself from the rest. Here's what separates the 1% from the rest. When the 99% sees an obstacle, the 1% sees an opportunity. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits. It will throw at you rejection, failure, pain, criticism, setbacks. And most people will break under that pressure. They'll complain, they'll quit, they'll convince themselves that life is unfair. But the 1%, they see the same storms, the same challenges, and they choose to interpret them differently. Where others see a dead end, they see a detour. Where others see failure, they see feedback. Where others see pain, they see preparation. That's the 1% mindset. Not avoiding struggle, but embracing it. Not hiding from discomfort, but running into it. Because they know that every challenge carries within it the seed of transformation. Think about it. When did you grow the most in your life? Was it in times of comfort when everything was easy? Or was it in times of difficulty when you were forced to adapt, to rise, to fight? Growth never happens in the comfort zone. Comfort feels good, but it kills potential. Discomfort feels painful, but it forges strength. This is why the 1% doesn't fear obstacles. They expect them. They use them. They train their mind to ask, what is this teaching me? How is this shaping me? What skill? What resilience? What character is being built right now? That's what makes them different. The 99% sees problems as excuses to stop. The 1% sees problems as reasons to keep going. And here's the truth, life will not give you what you want. Life will give you what you're willing to fight for. So the next time you face resistance, remember this. It's not there to stop you. It's there to grow you. The 1% mindset is not about living an easy life. It's about living a meaningful one. And meaning is born in struggle, in discipline, in persistence. Every obstacle you overcome is another brick in the foundation of your future. Every failure you endure is another lesson that the 99% will never learn because they quit too soon. So when the storm comes, and it will, don't run. Stand firm. Push forward. Turn the obstacle into the very thing that sets you apart. That is the hidden power of the 1% mindset. Here's a truth the 99% don't want to hear. Success is not built in a single day. It's built day after day in the smallest, most invisible actions you choose to repeat. The 1% understand this secret. If you improve by just 1% each day, in a year you won't even recognize yourself. The person you are today will be a shadow of the person you become. Think about it. One workout won't change your body. One book won't change your mind. One disciplined choice won't change your life. But when you stack those choices, when you make them daily, relentlessly, consistently, they compound into something extraordinary. The 99% look for shortcuts. They want results fast. They want the reward without the sacrifice. That's why they start strong but quit early. The 1%, they play the long game. They are patient enough to build habits, to trust the process, to invest in what no one else is willing to. The 1% mindset is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about doing everything right once in a while. It's about doing the right things every single day. Do you know why most people never change? Because they underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think one day doesn't matter. One skipped workout doesn't matter. One wasted hour doesn't matter. But it does. Every choice is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every habit is carving your future, whether you realize it or not. So let me be real with you. Your destiny is not decided by massive breakthroughs, but by the tiny disciplines you keep when no one is watching. Do you want to join the 1%? Then stop looking for the big moment. Start building small victories. Start stacking those 1% improvements, because over time they will separate you from the 99% who gave up. Consistency beats intensity, Habits beat motivation, process beats talent. And the truth is, you already have everything you need. All it takes is the decision to show up today and tomorrow and the day after that, until it becomes who you are. The 1% don't just do more. They do a little better every single day. And in the end, that's what makes them unstoppable. Here's the brutal truth. Most people quit when things get hard. Most people give up when they fail. Most people settle when they face resistance. That's why they stay average. That's why they remain part of the 99%. But the 1%? They don't stop. They don't back down. They don't let setbacks define them. The 1% mindset is not built in moments of comfort. It's forged in the fire of struggle. It's shaped every time you get knocked down and decide to get back up. Listen, discipline is doing the work when you don't feel like it. Resilience is rising after every fall, and greatness is born from the combination of both. The 99% wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. But motivation is a lie. Readiness is an illusion. If you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. The 1% don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They do the work, whether they feel like it or not. They keep going when they're tired, when they're doubted, when they're ignored, when they're alone. And here's something you need to hear. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody will do the push-ups for you. Nobody will put in the hours for you. If you want to rise, you must be willing to carry your own weight. Resilience means refusing to quit. It means getting up one more time than you fall. It means looking at the obstacle and saying, "You will not break me." And every time you rise, you become stronger. Every setback is no longer a defeat and it becomes training. Every failure is no longer the end. It becomes feedback. The 1% have mastered this. They are unshakable not because life is easier for them, but because they refuse to stay down. So let me ask you, how many times have you quit when it got hard? How many times have you told yourself, maybe this just isn't for me? That's the 99% mindset. That's mediocrity whispering in your ear. If you want to rise above, you must learn to embrace the fight. You must harden your mind, discipline your habits, and commit to never giving up, no matter how many times you fall. Because in the end, success is not about never falling. It's about never staying down. Motivation is a spark. It feels good, but it burns out quickly. Discipline, on the other hand, is the engine that keeps you moving when the spark is gone. Most people wait to feel motivated before they act. That's why they never build momentum. The 1% don't wait for motivation. They rely on systems, habits, and discipline. Think about it. The athlete who wakes up at 5 a.m. doesn't always want to run. The entrepreneur doesn't always feel like working another 12-hour day. The student doesn't always love opening the books again. But they do it anyway, and that is the difference. Discipline means showing up whether you feel like it or not. It's not glamorous. It's not Instagram-worthy, but it's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Motivation might get you started, but discipline ensures you finish. Here's the truth. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll never reach greatness, because your emotions are temporary. But discipline builds a foundation that doesn't crumble under stress, fatigue, or doubt. So the next time you don't feel like doing the work, remind yourself, this is exactly the moment where the 1% mindset is forged. Not when it's easy, not when it feels good, but when it's hard, because anyone can act when they're motivated. Only the rarest few keep going when motivation is gone. That's discipline. That's the 1% mindset. Every dream has a price tag, and most people aren't willing to pay it. That's why they stay average. The 1% mindset demands sacrifice. It's not just about what you do. It's about what you're willing to give up. You want to be extraordinary? Then you can't live like everyone else. While they're out chasing temporary pleasures, you're building something permanent. While they're scrolling, you're studying. While they're sleeping, you're working. While they're wasting time, you're investing it. Greatness doesn't come free. It comes at the cost of comfort, the cost of popularity, sometimes even the cost of relationships. And this is where most people quit. Because sacrifice feels unfair. It feels lonely. It feels like too much. But here's the truth, you're always sacrificing something. Either you sacrifice your goals for your comfort, or you sacrifice your comfort for your goals. There's no escaping it. The only question is, which pain are you willing to live with? The 1% understand this. They don't complain about what they lose because they know what they're gaining is infinitely greater. Freedom, Mastery, legacy, sacrifice is the hidden cost of greatness, and only those willing to pay it will ever hold it in their hands. Most people fear failure like it's the end of the road. They see it as proof that they're not good enough. But the 1% see failure differently. To them, failure is not the end, it's the beginning. It's feedback. It's refinement. It's the universe asking, how bad do you really want this? Every great leader, athlete, and innovator has a graveyard of failures behind their success. Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Athletes lose more games than they win. Entrepreneurs fail at multiple businesses before one takes off. The difference is the 99% quit after one failure. The 1% keep going. Failure isn't a sign that you're weak. It's proof that you're in the arena. It means you're playing the game while most people are just watching from the sidelines. But here's the key. Failure only defeats you if you stop. If you learn, adapt, and keep moving, failure becomes your greatest teacher. Every mistake sharpens your edge. Every setback builds your resilience. Every no brings you closer to the yes that changes everything. The 1% mindset doesn't run from failure. It embraces it, studies it, and uses it as fuel. That's why they succeed where others don't. So the next time you fall, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this here to teach me? That's the question that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The 1% mindset isn't about quick wins or overnight success. It's about the long game. The slow, steady climb that most people don't have the patience to endure. Everyone wants results fast. They want the body in 30 days, the money in 6 months, the success without the struggle. But life doesn't work like that. The real rewards are reserved for those who are willing to stay consistent long after the excitement fades. Think about bamboo. For years, nothing seems to happen. You water it, nurture it, and see no growth. But underground, the roots are expanding, preparing. Then suddenly, in a matter of weeks, it shoots up meters high. Success works the same way. For a long time, your effort may look invisible, but eventually the results explode. The 1% understand this truth. Patience plus consistency equals unstoppable progress. They don't get discouraged when progress is slow, because they know slow is still progress. They don't quit when the results aren't immediate, because they trust the process. Most people sabotage themselves by giving up too soon. They abandon the journey just before the breakthrough. But the 1%? They keep showing up. Day after day, week after week, year after year. Greatness isn't built in a rush. It's built in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when no applause is given, and when every cell in your body tells you to stop. Consistency is boring to most. But to the 1%, it's the secret weapon, because ordinary actions, repeated relentlessly, create extraordinary results. The 1% mindset is not just about success. It's about significance. It's about the legacy you leave behind. Money fades, fame fades, but impact lasts forever. The 1% understand that the true measure of greatness is not what you accumulate, but what you give. Not how much you take, but how much you leave behind. Think about the people who changed history. They weren't remembered for the cars they drove or the houses they lived in. They're remembered because they created something that outlived them. They touched lives. They built movements. They inspired others to rise. And that's the challenge for you. What will your legacy be? Will people remember you for playing it safe, for settling, for hiding your gifts? Or will they remember you as someone who lived fully, who refused mediocrity, who gave everything they had to the life they were given? The 1% don't just chase personal success. They think beyond themselves. They understand that the greatest use of a life is to invest it into something that will outlast it. Your words, your actions, your daily choices, they are building your legacy right now. Every day you're either writing a story of regret or a story of inspiration, and you get to choose. This is what separates the 1% from the rest. They live with purpose, they act with intention, and they leave behind a mark that echoes long after they're gone. Now it's your turn. You've heard the truth. The 1% mindset is not a secret reserved for a chosen few. It's a choice. It's a discipline. It's a decision you make every single day. So ask yourself right now, are you going to keep living like the 99%, distracted, settling, waiting for the perfect moment? Or will you rise, take ownership, and claim your place among the 1%? Remember this. If you improve by just 1% every day, in a year you will be unrecognizable compared to the person you are today. Small steps compounded over time create massive transformation. That's the hidden power of the 1% mindset. But it all starts with one decision, the decision to act. If this message resonated with you, don't just walk away and forget it. Take action right now. Subscribe to The Shifted Self, join this movement of growth, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And I want you to drop a comment below with one powerful statement. I choose the 1% mindset. Write it, claim it, and let the world know you're done living small. Because your future is waiting. Your legacy is waiting. Your best self is waiting. The only question is, will you rise to the challenge?